Awkwardly, I have to start the stream by pointing out that I misread a card yesterday. And where is it? This does not work how I thought it did. And I built this whole entire deck thinking it worked one way when it works another. So I'm just gonna save myself some time. And yeah. Also, this camera, is that fine? Whatever. I'll fix it later. I'm gonna have time tomorrow morning to fix it, I guess. Alright. So let's start with Clackbridge Troll. The downside here of this is obviously that you give them fodder to sacrifice. And there are a couple ways you can break this fairness. And I think the most interesting way to do it is Hushbringer. Let's make sure we're... Yeah. So this says creatures entering the battlefield or dying don't cause abilities to trigger. So if we put this into play and then put Clackbridge Troll into play, it doesn't make any 0/1s, so they have to sacrifice their own creatures, which we're okay with because it means we get to draw cards and gain life, so I think that's fine. And this puts us in black-white, so we get some interesting cards here. We can also add sweepers to the deck that only kill their creatures. I hit blue, didn't I? I meant to hit white. There you go. So I think it's kind of like this mid-rangey control deck where we kill all their stuff and then eventually beat them down with an 8/8 with trample. I mean, this is just a generically good card, right? All right. Where was I? None of these look good. Got it. Dizzying Swoop. I don't know that this is constructed playable. I mean, it is a common. I get that. But, like, I don't know if I want to cast this half of it. If this half had lifelink, I'd like it more. But here we are. Alright. I like this card. It's good curve filler. Awkward. Never mind. I don't like this card because it doesn't work Hushbringer. That's something I need to think about, isn't it? So I just need, like, generically good cards. Because, like, I want to put Blacklands Paragon in here. I guess the benefit of Hushbringer being our creature is we get to know when it's in play. Like, we get to say, okay, we have this in play, so we'll just play like this. There's a lot of ETB effects, huh? I hadn't thought that one through. So what then? I'm upset now. The good creatures all have ETBs. That's why they're good creatures. I am Sewer King, said Rat. I am quick and cunning, and I know every tunnel. No, I am king, said Zombie. I am cold and deadly, and no rat can harm me. Then Croc came and ate them both. I like it. Not interested in that. Like this. I'd love to play Charming Prince in this deck. I think it's actually really good. But it has an ETB and Hushbringer. You know what? I'm going to build the deck assuming, like, just trying to work around Hushbringer, basically. You're already in the deck. That's a weird thought. Conclave Tribunal, but I don't think we're going wide enough. What do you do? Exile target card from a graveyard, draw a card. Target player sacrifices creature with the largest power among creatures they control. You gain life equal to its power. Like, this actually isn't terrible. If we just play big enough creatures that this doesn't kill it, we can sweep away. Yeah, that's fine. Oops. Choose up to 4 target cards in your graveyard. If you control a Bolas Planeswalker, return those cards to your hand. Otherwise, an opponent chooses 2 of them. Leave the chosen cards in your graveyard and put the rest into your hand. Exiled. That's so weird. I wonder how good D-Spark's going to be. I'm going to add a couple. I like Disfigure. Not reading that card for the millionth time. Every time I read this, I get depressed. Flying Trample 6/6. It's a good... Remember when this was too good? Me neither. Maybe we're mid-rangey enough to use this card? I don't hate it. This card looks really good in limited. Just kill their biggest threat. Oh. Oh. Yeah, I like that. I like that. This is definitely a mid-rangey enough deck for Fabled Passage for sure. X's number of cards in your graveyard. Oh, that's a 5-drop. Never mind. Destroy up to 3 target creatures with toughness X or less. If X is 10 or more, return all creature cards from your graveyard to the battlefield. Could be an interesting way, like you pay 3 mana and you kill the 3 goats that they get. Sacrifice a creature and destroy target creature. No. Create a food token. Draw a card, lose a life, and it's a 1/1 Death Toucher for 1. And it attacks, target knight gets flying. Big 8/8. Some gates nonsense. Okay. I don't think this is a Gideon deck. I like Gideon. However, don't think that's what we're in for. I think this card is bad in a weird way. Like, I know it's good, right? We've seen Silk Wrap or whatever be good in the past, but I think the reason effects like this are good is because they're enchantments and not artifacts, because, like, red can just cite in artifact hate. Anyway, that's my stance there. Get these in while I see them. All the good cards are ETB. It's frustrating. I think Hushbringer is right, though. Like, I think we can just play around it a bit. I don't think we're that aggro. Actually, I know we're not that aggro. Not playing multiple colored cards. Arr. ASMR Fairy. Here to help and hurt us at the same time. Don't really want to blink them that much, huh? Exile up to 2 cards per single regain 2 life. Exile target non-land permanent. No, I don't think that's where we are. I kind of just want to add this to the deck just because it's a good card. Like, even in a mid-range shell, it's pretty good. And it doesn't have a flippin' ETB. Throw some of those in. No. I don't think we're on the Liliana plan here. Lotus Field, you had your moment, but the cards that made you good rotated so fast. So Massacre Girl essentially gives -4/-4 when you have Clackbridge Troll out. Like, to start. The problem is if they have some amount of other creatures that she kills, then she just kills your 8/8, and that's kind of not what we're going for here. Another death trigger that we are turning off with our own deck because we're so good at deck building. Mortify. This is legitimately something I was looking for. I'll probably end up switching how this is split somehow when I look at the numbers. Good sideboard card. Um, okay. Plague Crafters kind of. Oh, that's an ETB. God, Hushbringer just shuts off everything in black white. Why am I building this deck? Jeez. I don't mind a couple Prison Realms for Planeswalkers. So Saffron Olive himself said Rankle is being underrated. Let's look at this card. 2 black for a 3/3 legendary fairy rogue, flying in haste. When it deals combat damage to a player, choose any number. Each player discards a card. Each player loses a life and draws a card. Each player sacrifices an creature. I don't know. I guess like each player discards a card is Liliana's plus. Each player loses a life and draws a card is Bobbing Wrong. Each player sacrifices a creature is a playable effect. But the fact that it has to swing and like connect to do any of these, and you get to do all of them if you want. They would happen in that order though. Like you don't get to choose the ordering. Because it'd be cool if they were empty-handed. You could choose draw a card first, and then they have to discard. I don't know. I don't think it's right for this deck either way. No. We might have everything we need. What does this thing do? Return target creature card with a converted minus 3 or less from your graveyard to the battlefield. Interesting. W left, not interested. Okay, so this is another way to break some of the symmetry, right? Because you give them tokens. No, wait, it costs 3, doesn't it? No, it costs 5. All right. So we're going to add that in as a potential way to break symmetry. That's all I'm looking for. I'm looking for ways to like control the board and then control the symmetry of everything that's happening. God, this card is so good, but not the right deck. Return target permanent you control to its owner's hand or play a 3/1 for 2. Target creature gets +2/+2. Untap it. That's funny. That's actually a combo, right? They sacrifice their creature, tap Clackbridge Troll, and then you cast on alert and untap it. Swing for 10. I'm not putting that in the deck, but it's a thought. Each player chooses a creature or planeswalker they control and sacrifices the rest. Players can't cast creature or planeswalker spells. So you do this, and whatever creature they have left over you kill before you get the trigger from Clackbridge Troll? No. Sorin. You plus it one turn and then minus it the next, and you can reanimate Clackbridge Troll. That's pretty funny. Nice. Congratulations. think we have all the cards we want for this deck in some quantity or another. But I still want to just finish scrolling through the list here. See if we can't. This is notable. Oh, wait, never mind. I was thinking that it had to be a construct to get a counter on it from What's-Its-Face, but no, it doesn't. So, interesting. Yeah, good luck. No. Oh, God, this has so much text on it every time I read it. Whenever another creature dies, or a creature card is put into a graveyard from anywhere other than the battlefield, or a creature card leaves your graveyard, Conrad deals 1 damage to each opponent, to each player. I just... So many words. Oh, crap. Forgot we get Scrylands in these colors. I'm so used to building the wrong color decks. Thirsting Bloodlord. Maybe we could build a more mid-rangey vampire deck with Thirsting Bloodlord. I don't know. Seems like it's missing some important things. Come on. Let's get to the end of this list so I can know I'm done. No. None of these seem to fit what we're looking to do. Oh God, 20 more. Toughness equal to number of knights. Okay, we're not really a knight deck. So this is 2-1 for 2. We need attacks. Yeah, okay. All right, here's another interesting card. I'm just putting 4 of everything in, and then I'll work around it. Youthful Knight. All right, that actually reminds me. Okay, so that means we have all the cards I think would be good in this deck here. With only a few cuts to make. More than 11 because we already have some amount of land in here, right? We have 4, 8. I wish this was organized differently. 4, 8, 12, 16 lands so far. Although I want to get rid of this. I think we can do without Scoured Barrens in this deck. Because we have Temple of Silence, Godless Shrine, Fabled Passage. Like 12 duels, essentially. Alright, so... I wonder if we just cut Hushbringer so that some of our cards actually have text. I could probably just cut this. Doesn't really do much for our theme. God, I don't want to cut all the Forest Red Presence is pretty good, but maybe we don't have enough swamps to support that. I like the 2 Ethereal Absolutions. So we need to find a balance because we have Cry of the Carnarium and the other thing, Witch's Vengeance. I think I'd rather have Cry. Then Ritualist, I think we can go down to 2 on. All right. Maybe we go up to 3. Basically, I just don't want them to have creatures in play. Yeah, Ritualist looks really bad when you have your own 1-drops and stuff, but here we are. Alright, so that means we currently have 12 lands in play, or 12 lands in play, 12 lands in our deck, and 6 to add, so that puts us at 18 lands, not enough. Today, this is the first deck I've been building. I built a bunch yesterday, but today this is numero uno. Maybe because I have Murderous Rider, I can just cut Mortify, especially in like a best of one sort of thing. Gives me 10 lands to add, and I said I had 12, so that's up to 22. So 2 more cuts. D-Spark. D-Spark I don't think is particularly good. Probably a sideboard card, but again, best of one. So there we are. That should mean... Alright, so I have 12 lands now, and 12 lands to add. So that gives me 24 lands. So that's not even close to how you spell swamp. To keep my life simple, I'm just doing 6 and 6 for the time being. Alright, so let's look at it. We have Knight of Ebon Legion because it's a good card. Same with Charming Prince. Hushbringer is a combo piece that shuts off Charming Prince, but more importantly, it shuts off their stuff, and it shuts off the biggest downside to Clackbridge Troll. So we can kind of play around this. Then we have Prison Realm to deal with creatures and artifacts. Ethereal Absolution is, 1, just a good spell, but 2, it also kills all of the troll tokens, or goat tokens. Disfigure for some removal. Legion Sin, Cry the Canarium, and Ritualist Sid as sweepers that don't kill troll. And I think that's how you do this. So we have a couple different ways to get the goat. We want more black than white, huh? We only have like Charming Prince and Hushbringer. Let's look at the counts, shall we? I could do that from here. So 4, 8, 12. So 18 of both. That's probably fine, actually. Maybe I just put 1 more swamp in. Alright. So yeah, Clackbridge Troll. How to break it. Don't. No, this deck actually looks kind of fine. I like it. Alright, I wrote down a few things that I wanted to fiddle with. So we're gonna do this one next. So this is a noxious tweet, essentially. Tweeted out 2 pictures, and I don't remember what the name of the other card is because it's new and I'm bad at names. Nope, not what I was looking for. Let's see. Here we go. Escape the Wilds. All right. So what I was thinking this deck would be is base blue-green, and it's a ramp deck. But so you ramp, and then you have this small splash of red so that you can cast the 2 spells I just did. And then you just sort of go off. So, growth. Whoa. What the heck just happened? I was typing somewhere I didn't think I was typing. Growth spiral. Anticipate. We want shock as a win condition. Probably just put 2 or 3 in there. Expansion is good. And then we want Beanstalk Giant, I think it is. No. Oh, I spelled stock wrong. There we go. As a ramp spell and a beater. Circuitous Root. I'm not going to try and spell that, even though I was going to spell it right. I always doubt myself. All right. Opt is a good spell. Okay, let's see where we are right now. We have 34 cards. We have 0 interaction other than shock, which is technically our win condition. And it said we had, what, 34? So that's 26 lands, which actually sounds right in this deck because we want to make sure we can play a bunch of basics and get them all into play. I kind of want to cut this down to 3. Maybe cut this down to 3 as well. It's kind of weird numbers. Opt is suboptimal. Haha. Haha. I made a joke and I didn't even mean to. I want interaction. So that puts us back to 26. Okay. So shock and lava coil are main forms of interaction, and then we just sort of ramp up, and the last shock kills them, hopefully. The nifty thing is, if we always make sure we're drawing with Escape to the Wilds or Anticipate, we won't deck ourselves. So Anticipate, yeah, it puts it into your hand, and this puts it in exile instead of in your hand, so you won't lose from decking out. This deck really wants that one card. Big. What's the card I'm thinking of? Reclamation. But, like, you can only play so many non-instants and sorceries in your 1,000-Year Storm deck. So this is a 3. So we have some 1s, some 2s, 3s. Probably. Puts the spell back on top of your deck, right? All right. I'm not worried about the mana just yet. I know it's going to have a lot of basics, but basics and gates, since we're using Circuitous Root. Because if we put 4 copies, let's see, we're currently at 2731. We're at 31 instants and sorceries. I think we can put 4 more enchantments in here. Maybe 2. You can't just do 2 of those, though. Stuff. See, the thing is, like, if you're putting a bunch of lands in play and then they untap on your end step, you can just, like, float mana it and cast things. But this is a sorcery. I mean, you can still anticipate, opt, explosion, shock. So there's still, like, some amount of being able to do stuff on your instep. Maybe it isn't so good, though. All right, so let's look at lands. We are basically these 3 colors. Yeah, breeding pool. Get in my deck. This actually isn't terrible. Don't mind that. I'll put one of these in. Sure. This definitely gets in. We would love guild gates. Enters the battlefield on tap. You may put target instant or sorcery card from your graveyard on top of your library. Yeah, we'll put a couple of those bad boys in. A couple steam vents. Couple Temple of Mysteries. We might actually want to put like a Field of the Dead in here. Just because, you know. Oops. That doesn't do what I wanted it to do, but I will. And some amount of basics. I'll fiddle with the numbers in a moment. I don't know if I got Gruul, but we'll look. Field of the Dead. Yeah, I'm gonna say no. I'm gonna say no to Field of the Dead. 38 basics, easy, or 38 lands, easy. All right. So, oh god. Breeding pool, we definitely want 4. Castle 2, Castle 1. Yeah, that's good. Gruul Guild Gates. We could probably go down to 2. It has blue in it, so 4 is fine. Mystic Sanctuary 2. Steam Vents 2. Yeah. Maybe I just cut Stomping Ground. Simic Guildgate is fine, but it needs to be 4 so it can be legal. There's so many lands I just want to put in this deck. They're all good. Alright, so realistically, I want like 4 islands. No. I want like 3 islands, 4 forests, and 1 mountain. I want like this many basics, right? I want 8 basics because a lot of well, I have Beanstalk Giant and Circuitous Route. So like I have 8 ways to find basics on top of having 4 of the Fabled Passages. So I want to go from there. I think I just cut the temples. It feels bad. This land is just cheating. Scrying, I don't think we'll have time for 4, 8, 10. How many does this get? This gets 2. So currently we have 18 cards that Circuitous Route can get. Should I just go down to like 2 breeding pools? Let's see. So we have 2, 4, 8, 12, 13, 14, 18. 18 green sources. 2, 6, 9, 13, 14, 15, 19, 20, 21. We don't need 21 blue sources, do we? Can cut some of the blue. How many red do we have? We have 2. Yeah, but it's always attached to like green or blue. Cut that. Cut that. Does that do it? So 2, 4, 8, or yeah, 8. Jesus, where was I? 12, 13, 14, 18, and then blue is 2, 6, 9, 12, 13, 14, 15, 19. And red is 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Then we have for our circuitous routes, we can get 4, 5, 6, 9, 10, 11, 12, 16 cards. Yeah. And we have 8 basics for Beanstalk. Okay. I think that's reasonable. Somehow I made what appears to be a somewhat reasonable mana base. I don't know how this deck will play out. The idea is you ramp a bunch and then you slam down 1,000-Year Storm and you draw a bunch and eventually just shock them to death. Or explosion them to death. One of the two. We have some amount of win conditions in here. Escape to the Wilds allows us to draw cards without decking and play extra lands, which is why we have 26 lands. God, you could even like cut 2 opt. Where would that leave us? 11, 14 is 25, 29 spells. Then you could add 2 more lands. Because opt drawing a card is actually kind of bad for us. We could go up a breeding pool and like a guild gate or a basic island. Yeah. I guess we would only want to go up gates and basics. I'm going to take opt out. All right. Wow. Yeah, because we want to go up things that we can get with Circuitous Route and Beanstalk Giant. So, and the other land that's in here, Fabled Passage. Okay, I like it. Could also just like play Beanstalk Giant as a big boy, very very big boy. Okay, next meme. There's a theme in Eldraine about drawing cards. Improbable Alliance. Whenever you draw your second card each turn, create a 1/1 blue fairy. I kind of want to build around this. So let's get this in there. Then there's like the Royal Scions. I like Saheeli in this deck because we're going to be playing a bunch of... not that one. This one. We're going to be playing a bunch of non-creature spells here. That's not how you spell draw. Red, blue, most of these colors, future standard, go. So the idea is we want to play a bunch of good cards that also draws cards. I don't hate this. I don't think Ral actually draws a card, but it might also just be an inherently good card to have in your deck. I think Ral just looks at the cards and then you put one in your hand and the other in your graveyard. But, right, we're talking about Big Ral. Look at the top two cards of your library, put one of them in your hand and the other. Yeah, you know what? I'll throw a couple in. Doesn't hurt. Radical Idea is kind of interesting. Thrill of Possibility is great. I don't honestly hate this card. Like on turn 1, it scries 2, and then on turn 4, it's just like an extra Chemist's Insight. Got there. I got there. And then we can do like Shock. I did 5. I keep doing that. Lava Coil seems good. Let's have a legal amount of shocks in our deck, shall we? 16, only 20 spells. What's our carve look like? Bloop. Not terrible. Well, I guess the spells don't really matter as long as we're drawing cards, which this doesn't draw cards, but we make a bunch of tokens. This draws us a card. This is like removal plus card filtering, so that's fine. This triggers Saheeli plus eventually draws 2 cards. Yeah. How many cards do we have? We have 46, so we need to make some cuts. Witching Well. So that's 16 lands. I don't want to cut him. He's so good. Just like, he may not be the right card for, like, he may not fit on theme necessarily, but he's just incredibly good. I feel awkward cutting Saheeli. 17 lands. Fours. What are our fours? Did I not put Chemist's Insight in here? Oh, there it is. I was like, what on earth is wrong with me? You know, we could probably cut Chemist's Insight in half. Just because it's 2 copies of the card, and we also have Witching Well. I like having Crackling Drake as just like a we can kill you plan. Ironcrag Pyromancer is pretty decent as well. It's being one of those types of cards. What is oh, this is the auto chosen name. Over Easy Buttercream Stack 12. But no. The like when you make a quick list, it just generates a random name. Uh, uh, uh. Sure. Okay. What else does it do? It gives a creature +2/+0 first strike and trample until end of turn. That's pretty hilarious with Crackling Drake, actually. uh, draw 4 cards. When you do, Royal Science deals damage to any target equal to the number of cards in your hand. Cool. I've built another deck that wants to draw cards without opt. Is that wrong? I need to cut like 2 more cards. You know, we draw enough cards. I think we can put this to 2. So that's 21 lands, which I think is fine. Fibblethip is probably bad. Yes, I agree with that sentiment. Okay, so Temple of Blue and Red. Epiphany, there we go. Steam Vents. Sulfur Falls. Oh, rip. God, there's this fly just coming all around me. It's so annoying. Oh, wait. I actually know the name of the game land. Just want like a couple. Let's see. Leaves me with 11 lands to add. Should Witching Well just be opt? But like Witching Well draws 2 cards eventually. Yeah, I think I agree with that. Okay. Mountain is land. Not in this one. Yeah, because opt only draws 1 card. But I mean, like, it draws 1 card on your turn. Boom. This deck was easier to make. Easier. Still not easy. Like, I'm not sure this is all correct. I think this is correct for sure. And then, like, you just copy your Ironcrag Pyromancer, and then you cash in your Witching Well. Boom, boom. Between Saheeli and Improbable Alliance, you just get a bunch of 1/1s in play. Royal Scions can pump one of the 1/1s. Not terrible. I think Ral is going to be really good removal in this deck because, like, you slam this on 5 and downtick and basically kill anything. So, yeah, that's actually a decent clue. All right. All right, what else do I got? I tried to come up with a list that was a little less aggro than yesterday's list because, like, sort of like aggro combo, aggro combo, aggro. So like we have 3 things that are less aggro here at least. Speaking of aggro, how about blue black mill? So I think every blue black mill deck should start with this friend. Oh yeah. It kind of, so I did build Memekin. It kind of feels like when uh Guilds of Ravnica came out. Oh, Mill. Yeah. We're definitely doing Mill. But yeah, this build feels like when Guilds of Ravnica first came out, where we're probably going to end up getting a few people just because it's a smaller standard set. Torben, I think, is just a little too clunky in this deck. Like, I can see where you're coming from, but I don't know. I might try it at some point. My big include here is Ironcrag Pyromancer. for the pew pews, but this might change to Chandra depending on how I feel. But you know, Haggle was a big pickup, and Thrill of Possibility was a big pickup. And then we just ditch Arclight Phoenix to those sorts of things. So, yep, I like it. But now we're gonna build Mill. I don't know. I can't name decks. So there are some actually really interesting cards from the set. Yes, both 1 mana cantrips rotated, but we got Haggle and then we got um, Thrill of Possibility, so it's not the worst. So Drown in the Loch is probably the cornerstone of why you want to play Blue Black Mill. Choose one counter target spell with CMC less than or equal to the number of cards in its controller's graveyard, or destroy target creature with converted mana cost less than or equal to the number of cards in its controller's graveyard. So this is like a really good reason. It essentially becomes like a terminate or a counter spell. So we definitely want to be in on that. Enter the God Eternals. I feel like its stock has gone up a lot. What does this do? Sacrifice an island, can't be blocked, sacrifice swamp, exile 5 cards from an opponent's graveyard, return it from your graveyard to your hand. This might just be like a beater as like a backup plan. Oh, Thief of Sanity gets in. Thought Erasure gets in. It's my favorite deck. It has all the cards I hate it. Tyrant Scorn is pretty good. Yeah, it really is. Like, let's talk about must answer threats or else you're going to lose the game. It's been a while since it's been there, but I think it's back. All right, so we have we have Ashiok already. Okay. Hey, if we put Arcane Signet in our deck, we'll have a 2 mana rock, right? Right? That's how that works. Anyone? Bueller? Where are we going with this? Is this a petty theft deck? Like we bounce their permanent and then we discard it from their hand? I don't know. It seems a bit awkward. You know what this deck needs? Did I just like... Oh, I forgot. This deck needs Narset. Oh yeah, Convolute. Doing it now. Cry of the Canarium's actually kind of awkward because we don't want their creatures to be exiled. We want them to die. No, I didn't want to add that. I'm all here, I promise. D-Stroke, Disfigures D's. I wanted to add this one. Are we going to Drawn from Dreams? You know, I love this card so much. I'm going to put it in there, and then we're going to cut it. I mean, choose a non-creature card you control from outside the game, reveal it, put it into your hand. I think this is a slow enough deck where Fabled Passage is good. I wonder how many of the streamers tomorrow are going to be playing like Super Brews like we're doing, and how many of them are going to be playing like Field of the Dead decks. This needs Murderous Friend. Oh, Narset can't find Murderous Friend is actually a thing. Does Field look strong in the upcoming set? Yes. It looks strong without the upcoming set. Like in the M20 standard event that they had going on, it was just dominating. So I can only imagine it gets better. I can't wait to not have the right answers at the right time when playing this deck. We're not that deep. Let's see. Murderous Rider. I will add this, though I think I'm going to cut it because I want Narset in here, and I don't think we have enough to support that if I use that as my removal. Overwhelmed Apprentice. There we go. Turn 1 mill. Turn 1 mill that turns on our counter spell on turn 2. Check that out. And I think that's about all the cards I was interested in. And then, I don't know if I'd go that far. I mean, the Scry 2 is very nice because it always does something at least. Is this a Quench deck? I don't think it is. Yeah, exactly. Like I think that's what makes it a good card isn't like the mill portion, but the like the ability to sort of say, well, at worst I'm scrying 2 for 1 mana and I have a cheap blocker. Okay. I think that is it for this. We got Thief. Thought Collapse. Counter target spell is controlled for the top 3 cards. I don't even think the mill deck wants that. How are we milling them again? We have Thief of Sanity. We have Ashiok. We have the Thing. There's no like sustained mill, right? Like playable sustained mill that I've seen. Haunt of Hightower is good with mill as a top end. Maybe. I kind of like the big, dumb, stupid that we put in, though. That I already forgot the name of. Who am I kidding? I didn't know the name of it. Yeah, the 7/7 that you can bring back to your hand if you just exile 5 cards from their graveyard seems good. We have Thought Erasure. Because we are monsters. I wish mill was a keyword so that you could search mill. Yeah. Yeah, I know I can search put the top, but it's just... Top card, blue, black, most of these colors. Future Standard. Ashiok. Oh, there are actually 2 different counter spells now that do the same thing. Like, do we want Drowned Secrets? I don't think so. Each player puts the top 4 cards of their library into their graveyard. Return up to 2 instant and or sorcery cards from your graveyard to your hand. Like, I don't think we want this. I guess it's 2 mana for an 0/4 that mills 4. Like, you play this on 1, this on 2, and you've milled them for 6. Wall of Lost Thoughts. Enters the battlefield. Target player puts the top 4 cards. It's literally Wall of Lost Thoughts. Except this one doesn't have Defender. Ooh. Like, Merfolk Secret Keeper is blue instead of, you know, generic blue, but they're the same card. That's interesting. And yeah, look, you have Thought Collapse. Counter target spell is controller puts top 3 cards. And then you have Didn't Say Please. Counter target spell is controller puts top 3 cards. So that's neat. I'm going to throw this in just so I can remember it. But let's look at what monstrosity we currently have here. Just like 65 cards. Some amount of them are playable. That's not what I meant to say. Lochmere Serpent is a 7/7 for 6 that has flash, and 1 sacrifice an island, can't be blocked. 1 sacrifice a swamp, gain a life, and draw a card. And then blue-black, exile 5 cards from an opponent's graveyard. Return it from your graveyard to your hand. This technically shuts off the Drown in the Loch, which is weird. So things that actually mill, or put cards from their hand in their graveyard. We have Ashiok, Enter the God Eternals, Thief of Sanity, Thought Erasure, Tyrant Scorn technically kills a creature to put it in the graveyard. Dispersal in a weird way. Oh, you're right. I didn't even think about that because of the exile thing. Huh. Well, all these spells are blue. So, oh, that's so unfortunate. I think that means we are Drown Secrets deck. This Haunt is kind of silly. I'm just going to take that out. Yeah, I could see Kefnet being good. How many spells? 16. We're at 29. Yeah, I think... The heck? Why is it like that? Davriel feels pretty medium, honestly. As someone who has actually played Davriel before, why do I have 2 different... That bothers me. Alright. Move this to 2 because it's just extra copies of Drown in the Loch in a way. And Drown in the Loch is better. How many lands do we have? We have 12 lands in this nonsense thing so far. This is like a 25 or 26 land, 25 land deck, we'll say. So we need 13 cuts. before we even think of adding things to it. You know what? No, it's gone. I'm not doing that card. I think if we're going to mill them out, we're going to mill them out. We're not going to worry about damage and life total and things like that. So only 11 more cards to make room. Is Thief awful in a world of Shock Giant? I mean, it's a reasonable question. I don't think this deck does well against red. I am building it for best of one specifically. Actually, I'll take this time now to say the reason I'm building these decks is for the early access event tomorrow, actually, at 12:30 Eastern. I will be going live with all of these decks, playing against other streamers with the accounts that Wizards of the Coast has provided us that are fully stocked with future standard cards, hashtag sponsored content, etc. Okay, back to this. You become a different person when you do plugs like that. New Gargoyle. I don't know what that is. I don't think we're at the point of adding cards. I think we're at the point of trying to parse this down another like 14 cards, especially if we want to add in Kefnet. Because I do agree that Kefnet seems good in this deck, but we currently have too many cards in the deck. So we need to remove cards. Yeah, I was looking at that. Vantress Gargoyle, 1 in a blue for a 5/4 flying. Can't attack unless defending player has 7 or more lands. Yeah, that's another beater. I don't think we're really in need of a beater if we're adding in Kefnet, though. Yeah, it's a... I mean, like, we're gonna... 7 cards isn't that difficult in this deck, but it's just clunky. It's a really good one. Well, we have to have 4 more cards in hand. Oh, in hand. Oh. Interesting. Alright, so this can go because Drown in the Loch is probably better anyway. Disinformation Campaign is interesting. Enters the battlefield, you draw a card. Each opponent discards a card whenever you surveil. And we have Discovery and Thought Erasure, which is probably enough to get... Yeah, Drawn from Dreams can go. So Disinformation. Nope. Campaign. I mean, we have like literally the best removal possible here. So, and we have Enter, and we can Thought Erasure things. Tyrant Scorn helps. Like, it's fine. We'll get there. We could pick apart their hand. I'm gonna try it because I like Thief of Sanity personally. It's a personal choice of mine to ruin this deck. Don't think you can have any less than 4. We said we had 12, so that puts us at 17 lands. So there's still... that's a sideboard card. So that's fine. I think just 2 Narset's fine. She kind of counterplays with us because them drawing cards is fine. It means their deck is smaller, but it also means they find things. What are we at? Oh, right, we wanted to add Kefnet, so we're even further behind. Yeah. Kefnet is just a lot better than this, so that works. No. Why can I not look at it? I would like to look at it. So the issue with Witch's Vengeance is there are a lot of decks that just have multiple types of creatures. Like, if they're playing Night Tribal, it's a house, but otherwise it's kind of eh. Swap a couple islands for Mystic Sanctuary. Okay. Yeah, this is the right one. I just wanted to confirm I typed in the right thing. And we are at 52, so that's 20 lands. Yeah, you get to put an instant on top of your deck and then just double it with Kefnet. Sounds great. Where are we? 9 puts us to 21 lands. There are just so many cards I want to put in here. Cutting Disfigure is just disrespecting aggro. Maybe we don't need 4 Drowned Secrets. Like, we have a way to go through our deck, kind of, like, between Discovery, Disinformation Campaign, Thought Erasure, and stuff like that. I mean, those are just good cards, though. Like, I don't want to cut good cards just to make room. Like, I need to be able to look through my deck and say, okay, this is what I need. This isn't a good card. Right? So, again, 12 lands, and then 15 is 27. So that actually means we can add cards back. We can add 2 cards. We can add 2 cards back. And I think the answer is a Ritual to clear the little things and a Narset to find things. I think that's where I want to be. That's 47. 30, yeah, so that's 25 lands, which I think this deck is good at 25 lands. You said that one land is called Mystic Sanctuary? Oh, why did it do it like that? I did not expect it to do that. What, like one of commence the end game or something? That's a medium card. I just don't see it being that good because, like, I'd rather kill all of their stuff. And I don't think Witch's Vengeance, on average, is going to kill an entire board. -3/-3 is good. I guess, like, if you're discovering, you can just pitch it and then eventually get it with Mystic. Oh god, this is gonna be a weird one. Yeah. What are 3 drops? It's just Narset. You know what? Sure. No. Can even go up to 2. Yeah, 1 is fine. All right. So Mystic, what's it called? Someone said Sanctuary. I'm really bad with the lands, I'll be honest. The lands, they escape me. What does that card do again? Into the story. This spell costs 3 less to cast if an opponent has 7 or more cards in their library. Or in their graveyard. Draw 4. 3, that's 4 mana instant speed, draw 4. I mean, we don't have Drawn from Dreams in the deck. Draw 4, instant speed. God, like, how are we milling them again? That's my question, right? So we have God Eternal at 5. Thought Erasure takes cards out of their hand. Tyrant Scorn kills creatures. Overwhelmed Apprentice. This kills things. And this kind of mills them. I mean, okay, yeah, but that's like asking specifically to have a 4 mana card in play with somehow having a 5 mana card in your graveyard and having a land that puts that back on top of your library. Like, I'm trying to think of a consistent way to mill them each turn. Like, that's why I added 2 Drowned Secrets here, because this actually accomplishes something. If I cast like Overwhelmed Apprentice, I mill them. If I cast almost any of my spells except for Witch's Vengeance and Ritualist, which they mill them or fill up their graveyard by killing things. I think this is enough though, because like Thought Erasure takes cards out of their hands too. Like, we just sort of fill their graveyards through a controlling measure. There's no like end all be all. It's like a control deck that gets access to Drown in the Loch, basically. So we're not necessarily a mill deck, but we're a blue-black control deck that has a really good counter / kill spell. Gargoyle 7 should be easy for this deck. It can definitely block. Yeah, I'm getting rid of this one. We're gonna add in like 2 Vantress gargoyles that we can find eventually. Just have a 5/4 flyer in play and beat down and kill all their stuff. Alright. Mystic Sanctuary. Or have I already added that? I already had. Oh, I hate that. Alright. I wish this was set up slightly differently. Okay. I didn't want Dimir Guildgate. I added it on accident. So let's take that out. And then yeah, so we have flyers now that are going to beat down, which is neat. Like Kefnet and Vantress Gargoyle. You know what? I don't care what you say. I'm taking out a good card to put in a pet card. Because it also helps. It mills them. All right, so we are mostly blue, but black is kind of even. So 4, 8. Oh, there's no Scrylands in blue-black, right? So we want 4 of these. Yeah. We get to play both castles. What are those things called? Castle Lochthane, which draws cards. Lochthwain. And Castle Vantris, which scries, which is less good. Oh, just because it's not an island. It's fine. All right. So we currently have 18 lands, and we have 6 more cards. That's 24. Where did I go wrong? Where did I go wrong? Whatever. I'll live with 24 because you see some amount of our deck here. So just island and swamp. We want more islands than swamps. That's a swamp, not an island. Oh, we just even split? Sure. Is Kefnet too many, especially... Is 4 Kefnet when you don't care about damage? Maybe? We can just do 3. Gives us an extra land. That's 4... Oh, God, I can't look at it here. All right. So we have 1, 5, 9, 13, 16, 20 blue sources, and 2, 6, 10, 13, 17 black sources. I actually really like this mana base. It's very simple. More blue than black. Perfect. I kind of want one more black source, though. Nah, it's fine. We're fine. We can live with 17. All right. We did a mill. We did a mill meme. This. I don't have the 50 decks that someone else was purporting to have, but I do have some. I have 10. And we're about to make number 11. All right. So let's do this one. I don't know how well this is going to look, but I personally want to do red-white knights. Because... Yeah, possibly. Yeah. Well, I mean, you start with Inspiring Captain, honestly. Let's speak truth here. The reason you do specifically red-white is because you want the Lord. So we got the Lord in there. And then... All right, this is type Knight. So, and I want to play Worthy Knight. I want to try this card out. Seems sweet. This is a Knight? Oh, man. So we get the 1 mana Knight. Yeah, Fervent Champion. Uh, 3/1 adventure. Can't block. Target gets +2/+0. It's a 4/2 with this thing. I'm just so off of 3/1s that don't cost 1 mana. As long as no, we're not gonna control a Rowan. Why doesn't this make knights? It's still probably gonna make the deck. Let's be honest. We want this friend in here. For sure. That one is great. Dizzying Swoop might actually be good in this deck. At the end of their turn, you tap 2 of their creatures and then just push in. Kind of like this card. Just going to put 1 in for now. This card seems really insane. Did you brew up the Clackbridge Troll yet? Yes, I did. That was the first one we did. It was a hoot. It's kind of a neat, like, mid-range black-white deck that just has Clackbridge Troll in it and can, you know, abuse it a little bit. As long as your turn has flying, when it attacks, you can pay 3. If you do, creatures you control get plus X plus O, where X is the number of opponents you... Oh, okay, that's the Brawl special. I'm looking, and the Knights... how do I put this? They're kind of bad. Oops, I hit 5. It's really bad. I don't know. Oh, I like this one, actually. This one's pretty good. And we're in for a 1-mana 1/1. I think we can survive without a 1-mana 1/1. All right. I hope we can survive without a 1-mana 1/1. Let's see. Accidentally put that one to 5. I think we're at the point where go into Mardu. I'm trying not to do 3 colors. I mean, I guess Knights have like the best mana base for 3 colors because they have that land. I mean, all our cards do. Yeah, that's true too. Well, there's the flyer that picks up a dead thing. Boulder Rush. What does Boulder Rush do? Target creatures +2. Okay. All right, so we have 40 creatures here. You know, you're not wrong. The giant is just generically good. Like, it's not a knight, but it's good. What am I... I think I can, like, go down to 2 True Fires. And... I like dizzying, but maybe we just do like 3 of these. What is that giant's name? There he is. Bone Crusher. All right, and then we just add lands and we're done? No. Integrity Intervention. All right, we need to cut the creature count down here. I think True Fire is meme. I think we can cut... Skylight isn't that amazing, honestly. Yeah, we definitely want that. All right, so that gives us room for like 6 spells. Circle. Yep. Oh, right. COP and all that nonsense. All right. Circle of Loyalty. 1 last cast for each night. +1/+1 whenever you cast a legendary. We don't have a lot of legend. I mean, don't get me wrong. This is still good. It's like a 2-mana anthem. It's like... We're not... I'm just saying we're not triggering this a whole lot. Yep. Shock seems okay. Intervention. It's +2/+2, deals 3. Oh, okay. A couple of those. And then we fight down to an actual playable number of cards. So we're at 42. Wait, what? Oh, that's 18. So we only need 2 cuts. Probably just shock since we have the giant. And then 20 lands. This is very much a, like, I don't care what you're doing deck. Yeah, I mean, if we're going to go 21 lands, I'm just going to cut this to 3. Like, I know it's a great card, but... Okay. Yeah. Somehow not the most aggro deck I've built for this standard as of yet. Would you put together a green-white splash-black Wolves Matter list with Garrick and Tolsimir? Maybe? It won't look particularly good. I'll give you that warning. Red, white. Yes, I did build around Happily Ever After. Okay. I mean, sure. I'll give it a try. I mean, what I meant was it won't look good is I probably won't build the best version of it because it's not my style. But I mean, I like green white bow. Dwarven Mines. Sacred Foundry. Temple of Triumph. We have the power to have 3 different dual lands in our deck. Oops, I hit 5. So 7 basics. The mana's not terrible in this deck, at least. Like, Tournament Grounds, even though we don't use the black part of it, it's an untapped red-white duel. Any black. Let's see. Black. Knight of Ebon Legion is good. This one's okay. Stormfist Crusader is really good. Yeah. So Stormfist. So the problem is if you do it, you can do it like that, but it would be like cutting chicken with a spoon. If you put black 1 and 2 drops in your deck, you have to skew the mana just to play them on curve because they are curve cards. Like this, the whole point of this is you want to go 1, 2. You don't want to have like Knight of Ebon Legion in your hand and only 8 black sources in your deck to cast it. I think I just want to stay 2 colors. And I like red white so that we can get inspiring veteran. So I'm just gonna stick with this. Add in some amount of plains and some amount of mountains. Nope. Why you do that to me? Yeah, I put the castles in. I put the red one in because I just want to pump our dorks. That means I probably could have gotten fewer mountains. No, I need mountains for that to come in untapped. Right. How many mountains do we have? we have 7 mountains for this to come in untapped. That's awkward. That's fine. It's fine. It's fine. All right. So we wanted to put Garrick. What were the other cards we wanted? Night Pack Ambusher sounds fantastic. Tolsimir. Then there's like a new 2 mana wolf, right? No, it's an elf. Oh, that's right. It's an elf. This is what I always do. I'm like, it's riding a wolf is my problem. Look at this. All I see is wolf. Where's the elf? I know it's here, but like, there's so much more elf. It still might be good, though, if we're making a bunch of wolves. Right? Because we're making wolves off of Nightpack, Ambusher, Tolsimir, and Garrick. So I don't hate this card. Alright, so 4 mana wolf. Wicked Wolf. Sure. And that means we want Gilded Goose. Because we do ramp in this deck. Like, he had Arboreal Grazer in here. And Llanowar Elves. So I don't hate that. And then we want Arcbow. And Champion of the Wilds was in the deck. All right. So let's look at where we are. Yeah, we get to play black cards. We get to play a few more white cards that I haven't put in yet. Because he had Cavalier of Dawn, Cavalier of Thorns. But we get to play, like, beefy black cards if we want. Not making a whole lot of food, but that's, in general, my issue with the food mechanic, is you don't get to make a whole lot of it. What, like, wolves are there that are just generically worth playing? None. I mean, we got the 2, right? These are the 2 you want? Okay. What if this though? We can play Arlen. Hey, bud. God, there's so much synergy now. Because like you zero this, make 2, they fight, and if they die in the fight, then we get to pump this and then just -6 it next turn. I actually really like that. Uh-oh. What am I listening for? We get to double fight. Yeah, right? And then, like, if it dies, we get to pump our flippin' Garrick. Yeah, it's really good. Food. Feasting Troll King. Oh, interestingly, we have to cast this. But, I mean, it's still just a 7/6. Green Castle. Oh, yeah. Green Castle is sick with bow. You're absolutely right. Because it's the ramp one. We're not sacrificing food often. I think Savvy Hunter is incredibly medium. Like, when are you attacking with a 3-mana 3/3? I don't know. Maybe I'm wrong. I just look at it and am thoroughly unimpressed every time I do. Also, it's a human. Alright, so let's look at just generically good black creatures in Future Standard. CMC, actually CMC less than like 6. Because we can do that. Kind of scrolling quickly here. Looking for that good stuff. Clackbridge Troll. Yeah. Yeah. That's true. Green, black at most. Why won't it let me click on this? It's teasing me with that button. I already have that. Don't care. I like this card, but not in this deck. Oh, that was the other deck I wanted to build. Oh, snap. I just remembered. Okay. Like, I guess we're playing this, right? Because Cavalier of Thorns is just an amazing card. Beginning of every X creature card, if you do, put +1, otherwise sign no. Search by price. That's actually that's a funny yet effective way to do that. We're not gaining a whole lot of life. Doombringer's interesting. Gosh. Ethereal Elk. No. Just based on the name, I'm going to say no. We don't have a lot of 1/1s, huh? Which Rejuvenator are we talking about? Oh, Elvish, the 1-mana dude, yeah. That's interesting, but probably not that great. We could just Growth Chamber Guardian. No. Crawl Harpooner's a pretty good sideboard card. Lovestruck Beast is interesting, but not synergistic. Not like we don't have 1/1s, and we'd have to cast Heart's Desire before we cast Lovestruck Beast. The Great Hinge. Ooh. Oh, you're not wrong. This was a card we played in Bow for a bit, because once you have Bow out, you're not casting non-creature spells anyway. And it's just a 6/6 mostly hexproof creature. Oh, snap, son. Like, how do you not play this? Flash in my Death Touch dude, right? Flash in my haste guy. I don't know. You just can't not play this thing. It's a beast. Literally. Read the card. It says it's a beast. Block? If it wasn't 5/4 trample, when it deals combat damage to a player or planeswalker, return target creature. Return to your hand target creature card or planeswalker card in your graveyard that wasn't put there this turn. It's so specific and weird, but it does actually weirdly synergize, right? So look. You put this into play off of Vivian's Arcbow, discarding a creature card, then you attack with it, deal damage, get that creature card back. I don't know. Underrealm Lich is interesting. If you would draw instead, look at the top 3 cards of your library, then put 1 into your hand and the rest into your graveyard. Not that interesting. Witch's Cottage puts it on a creature on top of your library after discarding. Yeah, that's from your graveyard on top of your library after you've discarded it to Arcbow. I should be as specific as possible. That's interesting. Your vote's kind of interesting. Yeah, and re-hit it with Bow. Huh. Okay, so let's look at our creature count. 32 creatures, I think, is fine. It's enough. We have 11. So we have 43. We have way too many things, is what you're telling me. Okay, I understand. All right, Murderous Rider. Murderous Rider, get in as a deck, and then we were talking about the Great Hinge. Or a non-token creature enters the battlefield. Put a +1/+1 counter on a draw card. We do have some tokens, but I think on average, this is probably fine. It's good ramp. Castle. We have this one. I always make this mistake. Yeah, what? Oh, right. It's only to cast creature spells. Yeah. Yeah, castle not so great here. All right. We're at 48 cards. That's what you call an issue because we need more than 12 lands. Hold on. Gilded Goose we can go down to 3 of. So that helps. My pack ambusher. God, she finds everything, but I think we can just like go to 2. Like we just kind of want to have everything. 5 to 50, so 15. The wolf, wicked wolf. Yeah. It's like a 2 of. Puts us to 17, and his list had 25 lands in it, for the record. If we're keeping count. This is actually closer to a green-black deck than it is a green-white deck. Like, our only white card is Tulsamir. Yeah. Is this guy too cute? Oh, I think it makes sense. Like, again, Tulsamir's our only human. Oh, that's an elf. That's not even a human. Oh my gosh. No, that card's even better than I thought. We have 0 humans. This is a zombie knight. Holy crap. Okay. That still doesn't solve our issue of having only 17 lands in our 25 land deck. How many? He had 27 creatures and we have 32. I mean, Questing Beast just kills people. Yeah, we probably don't need Great Henge in this deck. 19. I'm going to say to make room for Garrick, which is why we built this deck in the first place, that I can just cut Vivian. Doesn't make a lot of sense, but it makes plenty of sense to me. He's kind of anti-synergistic because he's not a creature, but he also just like makes a bunch of wolves that trigger a bunch of our things and then has -3 destroy target creature, draw a card, and then eventually overrun forever with the emblem. So I'm kind of here for it. Is it whenever a wolf dies? No, specifically the wolves he creates have to die to pump him. But then like they come in and because of Tulsamir they fight something. Yeah, okay. I talked myself back into it. Four Goose, 3 Grazer. Yeah, probably. Yeah, that's how he had it. Sorry, I had it backwards. Oh, he only had 2 Cavalier of Thorns. So that's 25 lands. We got there. We did it. We did it. Hooray. All right. So now we need a green-black mana base with a tiny white splash. I mean, it's probably fine. So, interestingly, we get to have scry lands instead of the buddy lands. So he basically built this mana base for us here. So oh, he doesn't have the very tiny splash, so we'll have to work that in. But this actually kind of works for us. Because he's got... Well, no, wait. Is this the castle we want? Okay. Yeah, green castle doesn't work. So we want some of these. I'm trying to... Of course, I hit 4. Anyway. Trying to build this mana base exactly how he has it built, but with the lands in the colors we are, as opposed to the lands in the colors he was. This might be a Fabled Passage deck. And then that means, yeah. So we can put this in. We can put this in. I don't know if that force got added, and I don't mind having 2. Come on. Where's my button? All right. So yeah, I don't think we want to play something that requires 4 other than this Fabled Passage. Cough cough. What's her splash color again? White. Neat. So we want white green dual. Eh, 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 eh. Hit the wrong buttons. We have Goose and Wolf. Yeah. Green Adamant Land. I'll put like 1 in. Just for the random. It might do something. All right, so I'm 1 land over. Oh god. Probably because I have Fabled Passage in here. I mean, it's not perfect, is the problem. Fabled Passage can only get a basic, and we have 2, 3 basics, and I need to add a 4th anyway, because I want a basic planes in here. And that gives us 5. All right, let's do this. Yeah. So let's remove this. Let's move Fabled down to 2. And that means we can add a swamp and a plains. I'm sure there is, but that's after this deck. I think I'm gonna actually finish streaming, and I guess I'll work on that deck I had in my mind off stream. But yeah, this is gonna be the last deck I do on stream. That's okay. I like working on my own thing, but if like Amash would like to go to Jeff Hoagland's queue and look, that's cool too. So green sources, right? 2, 6, 10, 14, 18. Black sources 2, 4, 8, 12. What am I counting? 14, 18. And then white sources are 2, 3, 7. 7 white sources for the literally one of. Well, 4 of, I guess. Yeah. This deck looks like it might do something, maybe. It has some cute synergies. Like, I love Garrick plus Tolsimir and Nightpack Ambusher and stuff like that. It's cool. Oh, and this thing, Wildborn Preserver. See how fast we can grow that thing. All right. That is where I'm going to call it. This is a list of an amount of decks I will play tomorrow, maybe. So tomorrow at noon, or at 12:30, sorry, 12:30 Eastern time, I am going to be here streaming Eldraine Standard on an account that Wizards of the Coast is providing me with all the cards that are going to be in the next Standard environment. So be here for some of that nonsense, and it's going to be fun and some hashtag sponsored content. All right, I'm going to call it there. I'm tired. I can't look